Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about the books that I read this last week. So it is middle grade March season, which means there are a lot of middle grade and 5 adult books. So it was a great reading week, and let's just get back into it. So the first 4 are books that I read with my kids, because now that I finally have my voice back, we've been back to reading Nancy Drew. So we read 28, 29, 30, and 31 of the Nancy Drew and the Clue Crew series, and this is a series in which Nancy Drew and her friends are 8 years old. So we have Time Thief, where they dig up a time capsule and something that's supposed to be in there is not. Then we have Design for Disaster. So this is about the kids get to create fashion designs and then model them, and things go wrong because there's somebody kind of sabotaging it. Very similarly, Dance Off. There is a popular show in town called Kids Can Dance, and a famous middle school boy is hosting it, and things start getting sabotaged. So very similar. And then the Make a Pet Mystery. So this is basically Build-A-Bear, and one of the kids' Build-A-Bears goes missing. So I am not loving this series as much as I did in the beginning, and I don't know if it's because we're 31 books deep and it's just, you can only do it so many times, or if it's truly they're going downhill. The kids are just getting a little brattier. They're just getting a little flat. So maybe we need to take a break, but I think we're committed to finishing out the 40 books in this series here soon. So there's that. Then I have been taking the opportunity to just kind of read or pre-read things for my daughter, and we've gone to the library a few times and just browsed. So this first series is Addie McBean, Numbers Queen, and Addie McBean, Time Out. So Addie McBean is a girl who loves numbers, and in this first one, she has to do a project. I can't remember how old she is. But it's very quick, easy reads. And this is, she has to do a project about 2D and 3D shapes, and she's partnered with a kid she doesn't think she's going to like. They learn to work together, etc. And then in this one, they're learning about time, and she has some assumptions about her teacher and whatever. These are very forgettable, very 3-star reads. I passed them on to my daughter, but I don't really care that much. So next is a series, The Kids in Mr. Z's Class. So this is Emma McKenna Full Out. So this is about a charter school or something, and it has a whole yearbook page of the kids in the class. So I'm not sure if there's going to be books for everybody, but this is, they're going to a new school, or this girl named Emma, she's going to a new school. The thing she really likes is cheerleading. And yet her kind of best friend turned enemy from her old school is they're her new school, and so there's some drama there, and she, I don't know, again, pretty forgettable, but also fine. I don't love the whole conversation around enemies for little kids, because we can learn to get along with everybody, and having squabbles doesn't, I don't know, that just annoys me, but this is fine. And then another one is Nisi and Nene. So these are twin sisters named Nisi and Nene. And in this first one, it's the Tangled Hairy Mess. They want to make a salon business. And so they do, and it goes really great until it doesn't. And so then they have to figure their way out. And then in this one, it's Nisi and Nene and the Glitter Girls. And this is basically the Girl Scouts. And they have to do a community service project. And they want to raise money for a family, a friend who is an older man who needs dentures. And so again, really cute. These are all 20-30 minute reads for an adult, but really great for a kid. And so yeah, I'm definitely passing this one on. This one's pretty wholesome. A lot of slang and stuff is used in these, so whatever, there's that. And then the last one is one that I got on NetGalley, because you guys, while I am trying to film while I'm trying to prepare my anticipated reads, I spent a lot of time on NetGalley, and this was an audiobook, and it's called Feelings Are Like Farts, and it's a 4-minute audiobook, because I think it's going to be a picture book, and we all listen to it, and we're just chuckling the whole time. So if you're okay with fart humor, feelings are like farts in a lot of ways, and it's really, really cute and funny. Like I said, it was 4 minutes long. I normally don't talk about picture books or anything, but that's a NetGalley book, and it was one that was super funny. I tried to get, the author has a couple other things, and our library doesn't have any of them, so I really want to see the artwork for this book, but I don't know that I'll ever be able to. So look it up. If you can find the physical book, let me know. So now let's get into the adult reads. So I have Tallgrass by Sandra Dallas. So Sandra Dallas is an author that I have a couple on my shelf, and this one's just been sitting there a while, so I decided to pick it up. This is it's a historical fiction about a town in Colorado that gets an internment camp for the Japanese during World War II. And so the town is very upset by the fact that this internment camp is coming in and that they are expected to employ the Japanese, etc. So our main character is Rennie or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, I think Rennie. And her family is actually supportive of the Japanese, and they farm beets in this community. And so they are beet farmers, and they hire some Japanese kids to help both with that. And then her mom is sick, and so they hire a girl to help in the house. And it's a lot of good conversation around racism and how war brings out such inhumane things, that inhumane things are treated as okay when they're not any other time. And so I really enjoyed this. It's 3.5 stars. There was not like a ton going on in it. It's really just a family study, but I don't mind those. So there's that. Then we have 2 that I read after doing a try chapter tag for books that I thought I was going to dislike. And it kind of spun me into an existential crisis because I read 2 of them immediately and really liked them both. So the first is The Devil Wears Scrubs by Frida McFadden. I found this in a little free library and was not sure I was going to like this. But this is about a girl named Jane, Dr. Jane McGill, and she is in her residency and her in a general hospital type thing. And this definitely reminded me of Grey's Anatomy and like some weird cases that were going on. Her just trying to figure out the dynamics. Her boss is kind of awful. It's not a thriller, which I thought Frida McFadden was kind of strictly thrillers, but it's not a thriller. It's just kind of a women's fiction, and I really enjoyed it. Is it going to be something I remember forever or the best thing ever? Absolutely not. It is still just kind of run of the mill, but it was very entertaining. And then the other one that I will probably think about longer is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So I was really nervous about Matt Haig because I've heard his writing style is kind of weird. I was a little afraid it was going to be too literary, kind of hard to understand, but the premise really intrigued me, and this was not any of those things that I was worried about. This is about a woman who is wanting to end her own life, and she goes into this library limbo place where every book is a different decision she could have made. And so she gets the opportunity to jump into those lives and see what life would have been like if she would have made a different decision. And they're everything from big decisions to little decisions. And her commentary after the fact was so interesting to me. It was just so interesting about contentment and life and what every decision means, and like it was just, and who you are. Does different choices, how much does your choices change who you are? And I don't know, like our capacity for emotions and feelings regardless of our experience. Like there's just so much to think about in this, and I thought a lot about different decisions I've made in my life, and the overall message almost is like convicting. This is not a Christian book in any sort of way, but it definitely reminded me of a lot of the conversations we had on Krista from Books and Jams channel about Defiant Joy lately, about joy not being circumstantial and being due to faith in a higher power. And that's not really where this book goes, but it's that theme, and it gave me a lot of that vibe. So there's that one that I shockingly loved. 2 more. We have A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks. This is a tiny little thing. I got a 24 book or something Pango order, and so I was feeling bad about the fact that my owned books is going so much up. So I decided to read a quick one. And this is, I'd seen the movie, so I knew the story, but it's a story of a boy who's like student council president. He needs a date to the homecoming dance. And so he asks this goody two-shoe girl who's not a goody two-shoe. She is the pastor's daughter, and she's just a very, very, very good person. Asks her to the dance, and of course they fall in love, and heartbreak ensues. And so you don't know this story, I won't say anything more than that, but I liked it. I think it's like a 3.5, 4 star because it's Nicholas Sparks. It's cheesy. The girl is unbelievably good. Like I understand being a Christian and being a good person, but for a high schooler to not have any defense mechanisms, not have any problem being vulnerable and putting her herself out there despite being made fun of constantly. Like, felt very unrealistic. But Nicholas Sparks, you don't go to him for like the most realistic work in the world. So I enjoyed it. And then last is Life and Other Inconveniences by Kristen Higgins. So this is a chunker of a book. This is and like I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. Probably would have been even more if it was like 50 pages shorter, because this is just a family saga about a girl named Emma and her daughter Riley. And she was raised by her grandma because her mom died and her dad was just kind of awful and MIA. And so she was actually raised by her dad's mom, and her dad's mom kicked her out when she became pregnant and as a like upper teen. And now her grandma is like this owner of this major handbag company, whatever. And her grandma calls and after like 20 years of estrangement and says, hey, if you guys come help me for the summer or whatever, I will pay for your daughter's college and all of that kind of stuff. And so they reluctantly go and find out things about family. You know, again, it's just kind of a family drama. We also get the perspective of a guy named Miller whose wife died in childbirth, and so now he is raising this like 3-year-old, and it's really hard, really awful, and kind of their relationship as that happens. So this is like, as I was reading it, I was like, gosh, this is too long. It's kind of slow. But then after, like, as I concluded, I was like, gosh, I kind of miss these characters. So definitely a 3.5 star. One that, like, you have to be in the right mood to read it. But it was charming. It was sweet. I actually really enjoyed it. So overall, a really good reading week, both in numbers and in quality. Nothing awful. So yeah, it was a good week. So let me know what you've been reading this week, what you're up to, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, I am back again because I forgot one. I also read Sprinkle Sundays it's actually called Sunday Sundays. The series is called Sprinkle Sundays by Coco Simon. So this is the author of the Cupcake Club that we've been Cupcake Diaries, is that what it is? The Cupcake Diaries. My daughter's been reading the graphic novels. We have the books, whatever. Some of them are a little inappropriate, and this is honestly she might even be a little older. I think this is definitely middle school vibes. This is about a girl named Allie who her parents, she comes at like the beginning of the book, she comes home from summer camp and her parents tell her they're getting divorced. And it's like the weirdest way possible, like very toxic positivity, very like downplaying her feelings and like neglecting her feelings. Like, it was just awful. And so both parents are moving to different towns, and so she has to start a different school. And her mom, I guess, worked for her dad, and so worked in the company or whatever, and she always wanted to open an ice cream store. So instead she's opening an ice cream store, and that's the premise of the story. Like, it is a very pretty quick read. This is like a little bit more, I mean, there's not really pictures, so it's a little bit more like that for a middle schooler or a kid who is experiencing this. Maybe maybe she would be relatable, and it was entertaining enough to read, but there's that. So I don't know. I am going to continue in the series because I love finding series that have like a lot of books that I can pass them on to my daughter and just let her go crazy. And I recently tested her, and she's at like a 4th grade reading level. And so I'm nervous, maybe even a 5th grade reading level. And so I want her to be picking up things that are more challenging, but also more still developmentally appropriate, which is really hard because she's young. So I don't know. If you guys have any good suggestions for, like 5th grade reading level books that are still appropriate for a 7-year-old to read, please let me know. I am thinking maybe classics, some Christian fiction, things like that is what I need to look more into. I'm not really sure, but now I'm really done. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you again for watching.